We are back with another YieldMax video. I know you guys loved the YMAX one. We are doing YMAG today. I do own both of these now. YMAG was my favorite, but YieldMax has been doing so well. So I'm going to throw all of our dividends into our tracker. We're going to see the returns. We're going to see how well it's been performing and basically get the full scoop on this fund and see if it's really worth holding or not. As always, if you guys enjoy investing, ETFs, dividends, making money, all that good stuff, don't forget to like the video to let me know to make more content like this and to subscribe. It helps the channel out a bunch. We are on track to do big things in 2025, and I hope you guys can be a part of it. So let's roll the intro. So currently they're saying that it's distributing 72.31% for YMAG, which is crazy. For those of you that are not familiar with YMAG, I'm sure most of you have heard of it, but it is the fund of funds that invests its assets in the 7 YieldMax ETFs. We have their ETFs are all focused on Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, which is Google, Meta, which is Facebook, and then we have Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. When you ask me like in live streams and whatnot, I can never remember all 7. So that is all 7. We can see the distribution history. We're going to see that on our spreadsheet as well. And then you can go over the fund overview and all this information. There's a few things I usually like to point out. The gross expense ratio is high. It's 1.3%, which is, I mean, that's high. That's high. I think it's the highest of any of the weekly payers. It's not the worst that I've seen, but it is up there, and that's something you want to factor in with your overall return, as well as taxes. If you're investing outside of a tax-exempt account, I might do a full video on taxes. I'm not a tax expert. I'm not an accountant. I don't claim to be. So the taxes stuff is difficult for me, and you guys usually help me out in the comments with that, which I really do appreciate. But we can also see that the net assets is 250 million, give or take. So pretty solid. This fund is one of the larger ones, and it's just been doing so well since switching over to the weekly payments. So let's check out a price appreciation chart and see just how well it's been doing. So on the 1 year, we are down 1%. This thing hit a high of almost $22 before it switched over to weeklies. And I believe it switched to weeklies sometime around here. It was in August, I believe, was the first payment, maybe September. But after switching to weeklies, it's been doing well. So it's near all-time highs since going to weeklies, and it's been bouncing around a little bit, but those dividends have been insane. The distribution income has been phenomenal, and I'm really happy with the switch over to weeklies. I think it was really smart for these funds to do that. Not only is it more attractive to investors, they've seen a growth in assets under management because more people are investing in. It makes YieldMax more money, and the better these funds do, the more people will want to invest in them. So overall, it's going to make some nice money for YieldMax, and I hope they put out more of these in the future. I know Roundhill is putting out more, so if you're interested, or they have a prospectus to put out more, if you're interested, I'll link a video at the end of this one where you can check out the new funds from Roundhill that are going to be paying weekly, because they are pretty insane. So what we're going to do now, we're going to jump into the dividend history on our dividend tracking spreadsheet. We are back in the amazing dividend tracking spreadsheet. The developer did such a good job, and I have everything put in for YMAG at this point. Some of the stuff hasn't auto-filled yet because there's not enough data inputted, but if you guys have seen the other video on all the weekly dividend ETFs, then you'll know that this thing, it's really cool when everything's plugged in. So just checking it now, we can see we had October, $3.63, November, $3.15, and December, $1.03. We can also go down the portfolio value, or just what I have in YMAG. In this one is 98.72, and we can see a chart form for all the dividends paid out. Now I'm working to get the weekly ones popping up in one of these tabs as well, and the developer has been super cool with all of that. Our total dividends received is $7.81. If you guys are interested in this, it's in the tier 3 channel membership portion for the channel. It helps me do all these challenges. It helps me put all this money in to the entertainment side of thing. You know, I've spent so much on YouTube so far, and I love doing it. It's just a hobby, but I do appreciate it. If you guys want to support the channel, it does help support me as well. We can go through and see all this stuff. So we have YMAG plugged in, number of shares, average share cost. It gives you the day change, the 52-week range. Ooh, that rhymed. And then we have our market return. So just cash-wise, we have returned $2.79, just price appreciation. And then we have total return, which is $10.60, which is including our dividends, which were what? $7.81, something like that. So our market return percentage-wise is 2.9%, which is some great growth in just, 9 weeks. And then we also have our total return of 11.04%, which is phenomenal. Really phenomenal. So what we can do is we can actually check a lot of stuff on here. We see the market value, the dividends, all this stuff has been plugged in. So all the dividends all here. We knew that. We knew this number, $7.81. Now, the key thing is plugging in all the data here and in the monthly tab will give you your annual, and it'll fill everything out on the dashboard, which is really, really important. But we are going to do some math. So what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the yield that we've seen so far, as well as what we would see if it continued for the full year. And so what I'm doing is I'm pulling up YMAG. I want to see our initial investment in YMAG. So the initial, currently it's sitting at 101.68. But our initial investment was that, what was it, 91.77? 98.77. 98.77. So we're going to do 98.77. No, we're going to start with this. $7.81 divided by 98.77 equals and we'll multiply this by 100. It's giving us a 8% return on the dividend alone, which is phenomenal. So what we can do is we'll divide this number by, let's see, we've had 9 payments, and then we'll multiply this by roughly 52, and that should give us a 45.6% yield throughout the year if it continues at this pace, which is insane. That's absolutely insane. And so I'm going to actually add to this because we've seen about a 3% yield so far, right? So I'm going to take our math. We're going to do it again. I'm going to take this 9. We'll do 7.9 plus our 3%. We're going to divide this by 9, and then we'll multiply this by 52. And you have a 63% yield, which is crazy. Now, we don't know how the price action is going to go with these. We never do. But the dividends have been solid and consistent. And when the dividends do well, the price action does well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this in the long run do this well. A 62% return is still phenomenal. It's one of the best performers in the account that we've seen. And so I'm very happy with these and with YieldMax overall. If you are interested in seeing how YMAG compares to YMAX, they're pretty close, but one does come out on top. Check out this video. I'll link right here, and thank you guys so much for watching.